Hey, welcome back everybody. Okay, so you did multiplying of radical expressions. The last video we did dividing of radical expressions. So all we gotta do now is to add and subtract. Let's start off easy. It's like adding like terms. It's kind of like doing if I had 3x plus 9x. You know how to do that. This is 12x. Same idea here. Instead of x, it's just radical 2. These are like terms because the radical 2 is the same. So if I add, I would get 12 radical 2. Yeah, same idea. All we're doing is adding like terms. Here, let's try another one. 8 radical 5 minus 3 radical 5. Radicals match, so they're like terms. We can just subtract. Okay, that was easy. Let's make it a little more challenging. Okay, so the radicals don't match. They're not like terms. We can't combine. But let's look at it a little more closer. See this radical 40? If it's possible to simplify, we need to do so. So that stays the same. The radical 40, I can factor into 4 and 10. I can square it to 4, that's a 2. So 2 radical 10 minus 7 times 2 is 14 radical 10. Now we have like terms. Since the radicals match, we can subtract. Negative 12 radical 10. Let's try it again. Let's throw into an alphabet. Radical 24y plus radical 54y. Okay, so radicals don't match, so we can't add them. They're not like terms. But maybe we can simplify. Let's split this up. 4 and 6y plus, how can we split the 54? 9 and 6y. I can square it to 4. 2 radical 6y. I can square it to 9. 3 radical 6y. Now we have like terms. The radicals are the same. We can add 5 radical 6y. Here. 2 radical 12 plus radical 27 minus radical 48. We need to simplify the radicals. How can we factor the 12? 4 and 3. How can we factor the 27? 9 and 3. The 48. 4 and 12. Okay, that's fine. I can square it to 4, that's a 2. I can square it to 9, that's 3. I can square it to 4, that's 2. Okay, so 2 times 2, 4 radical 3 plus 3 radical 3 minus 2 radical 12. We have 2 like terms. We can combine. 7 radical 3 minus 2 radical 12. Yes, we can go further in the 12. So this is 7 radical 3 still. We can factor the 12 into 4 and 3. We can square root the 4, that's 2. So now we have 7 radical 3 minus 2 times 2 is 4 radical 3. We have like terms again. 3 radical 3. Radical 4x plus radical 81x to the third. I can square root the 4, that's 2 radical x. I can square root the 81, that's 9. 9 radical x to the third. Oh wait, we can split the x to the third. X squared and x. I can square root the x squared now. The square root of x squared is x. Okay, so they have a radical x in common. So in a sense, I could factor that out. If I factor out a radical x, that'll leave me with 2 plus 9x. Let's try a few more. Radical 9x plus 9 minus radical 4x plus 4. So they're not like terms, the radicals don't match. However, I can factor each radical separately. This has a common factor of 9. If I factor out a 9, they'll leave me with x plus 1. For this radical, they have a 4 in common. If I factor out the 4, x plus 1. I can square root the 9 and the 4. 3 radical x plus 1 minus 2 radical x plus 1. Now we have like terms. The radicals match. Let's make this a little more challenging. Radical 2 plus radical half. You can't simplify either. However, there's a radical in the denominator. We can't have that. We need to multiply by something so that we rationalize the denominator. 2 works. So I have radical 2 plus radical 2 over radical 4. Now we can square root the 4. Radical 2 over 2. The radicals match, but the denominators don't. So we cannot add fractions unless the denominators match. We need to multiply top and bottom here by 2. Now I have 2 radical 2 over 2 plus 1 radical 2 over 2. And now we can add. Denominators match, the radicals match, we have like terms. 3 radical 2 over 2. Let's try it again. Radical 5/3 minus radical 3/5. We can't have radical in the denominator. We need to simplify. We need to rationalize the denominator. we can multiply for this fraction top and bottom by 3. That'll give me radical 15 over radical 9. For this fraction, I'm going to multiply by radical 5. Radical 15 over radical 25. Now we can square root the denominator. Radical 15 over 3. I can square root the 25. That's 5. Okay, we're almost there. The radicals match, but the denominators don't. You cannot subtract fractions unless the denominators match. So we need a common denominator. 15 is fine. We're going to multiply this one top and bottom by 5. This one by 3. So now I have 5 radical 15 over 15 minus 3 radical 15 over 15. Now we can subtract. We have a common denominator. We have like terms because the radicals are the same. 2 radical 15 over 15. Let's do one more. All alphabet. Where should we start? Okay, we can't have a radical in the denominator. We need to rationalize. Multiply top and bottom by radical x. This is radical x squared now. On the top, you have x radical x. The denominator is fine for that. We'll just leave it, radical x over 1. So now we have x radical x over x plus radical x. Oh, the x's cancel. I went for the 1 here, but we don't need a common denominator. The x's cancel. Just 2 radical x. Okay. Hope to help. We'll see you in the next one.